I'm Soumya Sarkar from Wealth Redefine. Today I have one guest in my program is Mr. Dilip Bhattacharya. To introduce Mr. Dilip Bhattacharya, he was a ex chief operating officer of Bengal Tools and very well known investor. He has started his journey since 1980s when probably nobody knew about the market, and today he has been associated with us. We manage his portfolio since 2013, and he has been a constant source of energy for us. He also helped me to understand about the mutual funds and everything in a broader market and how it works and everything in that journey. I basically do not call him as an investor. I basically call him as my mentor who helped me to understand the things in a much better way. Today, we would like to learn something from him as an investor, how he has gone through this journey and everything, and how he has been developed as a investment, you can say, guru in this field. He has been a source of energy for a lot of us like us, and he has done tremendously well in terms of his portfolio. So, sir, over to you. I would start with one very simple question, is which everybody asked, is how and when you learn about this, the way of savings through mutual funds and equities and everything, how you have started this journey. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Somyo. I am honored that you have given me slightly higher. I am not that big, but yes, I am a learner always and will remain learner. My journey prior to your taking over my portfolio in 2013 has been almost total 30 years plus journey in the industry, working for various companies. And initially in early 80s, this concept of saving was only through fixed deposits or the pensions and all those things, or LIC and all those things. So I have been basically growing in that environment. And apart from that, a secured government job, which I landed up in 82 with a premium organization in the country known as HMT. And from there, I started my career and worked with them during that period. Actually, we were otherwise carefree for the future. So because we were all in a government job, having a secured life, good salary and all those things. But in my heart to heart, my thinking was to do something different from the job, what we are doing, and in my life also, because in my early age of studying, also I was adventurer for various small projects to look at it as a challenge. 86, I came across option for mutual fund. Just I was not fully aware of the mutual fund, but it was UTI project. So UTI known to be very safe in those days. I thought that let us see what is there. And most probably in those days, UTI was the only organization which has some knowledge about mutual fund savings and all those things. They actually launched Master Share. So I was an investor in Master Share in 1986. And from there, my journey started to mutual fund. Without knowing much about Master Share, I invested into it for 1,000 Master Shares, which still I remain with, still it is there with me, paying me a handsome dividend and everything.
Master Shares are one mutual fund which has constantly given dividends throughout its life.
This increased my inquisitiveness about this product in the financial market, and this has actually basically given the idea to learn more about the mutual funds. gradually I started learning more in mutual funds during my full-time career job of marketing and all those things. I started studying these things. And when I went into the detail of master share, I found that they are basically holding the premium shares of the country in those days with them, and collectively investing a huge amount, more than, I think it was in those days, it was more than 3,500 crores, which was a huge sum in those days.
Yes.
And it was continuously growing also. So I kept on this thing, and then I thought that if we can think of uh, expanding the avenues of growth, so I started searching out more and more avenues for these things. In the process, I did some studies in shares also, and side by side, 10-15% of that amount I had put into the small shares in those days, because that was an option which was giving safe growth also. Within next 5 years, in 90s, the mutual fund started, and my first investment was in Kothari Pioneer, which most of you may not be knowing it in the current generation, but it was there as a tax saving fund. In my 91, 92, I invested into Kothari Pioneer and Tata tax saving funds. My return, CAGR was very good, and I started learning more on these things. And continuous investment into those days, I felt that it should be my future support after my retirement, which I am now. And I think I don't regret that, because a small investment in those days of around 1,000 rupees was huge.
So my comes to my next question on this part is, when you realized that mutual funds can be a good way of wealth creation, because those generations started investments and everything, people used to consider to be more of a gambling rather than an investment. So when you realize that yes, it can be a wealth creation.
See, I was the odd man out in those days when I used to say this thing that this is not gambling, this is purely your skill to learn. And in fact, actually, that created actually confidence in me. Why? Because when I was in Bhopal, I used to have a lot of people coming to me for, say, various advices and all. This is my nature. I used to give support for anything. If somebody wants for information, for knowledge and all those things, that time I was teaching also. So I have basically felt it in those days that if I can invest in my son's or daughter's education, say 500 rupees a month, it goes on, it increases, goes on, and then daughter gets grown up, married, son got grown up and married and all those things. These investments, I have done it. Necessarily, it is not basically repaying me. I don't want a repayment part of it for my grey days. So I thought that why can't we do something small amount if I can put into a growth oriented area where I don't have to do one thing. I have to invest small amounts, say 10,000 rupees or so, who can manage. Because mutual fund, I am today having mutual fund on the concept of my own son. And it has got a unique feature. It never demands from
Yes,
you anything.
takes
My
everything.
son, my daughter can be groomed, then they grow up, they will help me, they will do everything for me. But circumstances may force them that they may have some problems, they may not come forward to help me out. But my mutual funds today is selflessly serving me in each and every walk of my life. And in these last, say, around 20, 25, 30 years, my savings have gone up today, and it's in a different segments, in large cap, mid cap, small cap, then mix, balance, all those. More or less, my average growth, if you compare with the current bank scenarios and all those things, because in those days we did PPF, bank deposits and all those things. Initially, it was very good. Gradually, it went down, and today it is in the shape of 5-6%. But because of my long investment, in spite of all these market up and downs and all those things, my current growth average is above 10 to 12%, which allows me a leverage.
Yes. When I
This is
FD
how.
rate is 5-6%, if your CAGR is more than almost double of that, it's a real growth. Agree.
It's a real, yes. If you see the inflation also, if you discount the inflation also, today, I don't have anything fear, because if the market goes down also, my investment will always remain what I have invested, at least 6x to 10x above that.
So, as we are talking about, if you told that you first started with Kothari Pioneer and Tata and everything, but these are all those investments were all into bits and pieces investment. Like you went somewhere, you bit it and other thing. When you actually started it as a seriously as a wealth creation, it means when you started buying them as a regular basis, that means
See,
you
this
started.
actually, yes, I'll tell you what happened. That when I did this investment, it was a compulsion for my tax saving purpose in 90s when I was working for Honda. And in that period, actually, I did some investments on all those areas. Every year, this was forced every year, okay, 10, 15, 20,000 as per the income tax needs. We did this investments, and then in 3 years lock-in period and all those things. Till 2000, actually, it was only compulsion that we have to do. Salaries are growing, so you have to save something, and to the top up limit. We used to do like this only. And I found it has, I invested Tata's in 93, and in 98 when I encashed it, because he encashed it also, it was almost 9x money in 5 years. In 5 years, in those days, double is okay. In those days, it was NSC and all those things were double. But nobody can think of 10,000 rupees, which was my limit, will go to 80,000 plus.
Yes.
Same thing in Kothari Pioneer also. So later on in 2000 onwards, I was very regular that let us do this thing. And I kept on investing small amount, say in those days around 5,000, then I increased to 20,000, then I increased to 30,000, 40,000, depending on my growth and salary growth and all those things. And till 2012, when you took over, my investment was almost ₹1,00,000
Yes.
monthly.
Yes.
Okay. That was my journey. And you took over when I was having this, I have passed this 2008 days also, which was really worse. And I have not stopped my SIPs in those days also, which has given me a tremendous amount of growth into that period only because of low NAVs.
Yes. So actually, the people, the new generation do not realize that investing in the bad time is actually the investment, and SIP actually creates the asset for the long term. I think you are one of the brand ambassador for it who has created the enormous portfolio, because I cannot disclose it in front of camera, but I know what kind of portfolio you have, and that is only through SIP way, mostly. Later on, you put some lump sums, but majorly you have done through SIP way. I think people can aspire to have that kind of portfolios. So, sir, now it comes to my next question is, what is the current status of your mutual fund holdings and equity holdings without giving the numbers? Like not a, you cannot give the detailed number, because that is something which we cannot
I
disclose.
fully agree on this point that today my SIPs, which I have started, not only me, I think you must be knowing that I have almost 50, 60 people with me, those who have entered into this business, including my daughter, and they have realized that they can have their dream fulfilled at any point of time in age. Because once they started in early, and SIP, if you start in early stage, say about 25, so basically by 40, if you have put in around 20 to 25,000 rupees a month, and because today's salaries are much better than what we had in those days, 15 years time, you will be more comfortable for everything you desire to or you wish to. My fund has almost gone 1 CR plus in the areas where my returns, you know well that it is almost around 8 to 10%. So comfortability is this, that I'm not investing now because I am retired. I'm not investing much. I hardly.
But here I would like to add it, sir, that even after your retirement, you continued some of the SIPs, which
Yes.
is very, very rare case, because people first, what they do is that when they're in crisis, the first they come and say, stop the SIP. But you are one of the person who has, even after retirement, also continued the SIP, which is a excellent thing as an investor, and that actually gives a lot of people a confidence that why SIP is actually a wealth creation tool.
Yes, I agree. I tell you what has happened, that within this period of this thing till 2012, 13, 14, 15, I was working. I've seen my funds, which were in very good shape, and I can encash it some part of it. Then I thought that, okay, let it be. And even at this age, though people advise that don't invest in small cap and mid cap in this thing, this is very risky. I thought that, okay, since I have generated some wealth, out of that, I have started taking out some money as systematic transfer plans from large cap to small cap plans for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, which now it is giving me a tremendous amount of growth. In some cases, it is even 40%, 50% also. So that we have learned with the process. And I'll see, basically, I'm ensuring it that this is going on. And okay, my needs may now not grow, but it will give me a cushion in any eventuality. I'll be having a good buffer with me for my medical needs and all those things. This is the habit which I want to say for everybody, those who are there for a long-term benefit. A systematic investment is the best way, be it in shares, be it in mutual fund, be it in any field. Systematic investment discipline makes your life comfortable after 40.
So now it comes to the next question, that what is your advice to the next generation investors, next generation who wants to attain the financial freedom at the early age? Because this pandemic has shown us that there is a job of loss, there is a EMIs dues, there is a huge problems across.
Yeah.
So if they can attain the financial freedom, then it could be easier for them to yes. So how you see it, sir, and what is your advice to the next generation?
I'll say this current generation is lucky enough because we don't had this opportunity that somebody will guide us for our future grade A savings, because it was in those days very few options were there, no much options were there. But today, I'll suggest that anybody who is starting his career now should think of basically keeping his planning in a strict regime. Whatever he wants to do, let him do. But out of his total income, even if he does 10% of it, should be parked in some safe journey, which works automatically after some time for his welfare. See, I'll tell you why. If you have 2 kids, you are putting money into their studies, into their well-beings and all those things. Suppose if you are doing for their studies 1,000 rupees, for 2 kids 2,000 rupees every month, plus maintenance and all those things, say another 2-3,000 rupees per month. I will suggest that you adopt 3 more kids. And best of this thing is there is no labor pain for adopting those 3 kids. You are adopting a ready-made child, and that child will give you everything what you desire to get into the late days when your needs and all those things have gone down. But you need only one way, this thing, that support. These childs are mutual funds. Put some money in small mutual funds, even if it is 1,000 rupees. Do that and correspondingly increase that. If you feel that, okay, after 10 years and 15 years, you are finding it that you are unable to do that, the large sums, you reduce that also, but keep it up. Say if you start it in 25 years of age, say 5,000 rupees a month, and if you continue for this 5,000 rupees a month, I'm saying is let it be 5,000. I'm not saying that increase and all those things, that you can do it depending upon your growth, income and all those things, and expenses too. This is in 15 years of time, your actually investment will be somewhere around 9 lakhs. Okay. And if it is bare minimum 9% growth rate, what will be the amount? You can calculate it immediately.
Yes, it can be a huge amount, sir. Can be a substantial amount in a compounding rate. How Wealth Redefine has helped you, if you can tell in a nutshell in this journey of portfolio. You have been with us for 2013, and it has been a long journey. And I'm very much happy that you are still with us, and you will continue to give me guidance and everyone in the office. But if you can tell, sir, that how it has done in a nutshell, sir.
See, basically, when I was there in 2013, I was doing it from another agency. And when I handed it over to you, I thought in different way, because that time you were an upcoming this thing, and I found that it is interesting to see a plant which is growing in front of me.
Yes.
And I thought that, okay, I will put all my savings and all those things in your hand. And along with me, I had, I think, a couple of more persons, those who have joined me and given you that opportunity. And we don't have any regret. And rather, we are thankful to you that you nurtured them so well that in this period, we have been totally comfortable to look into it, because we don't generally, most of my friends, they don't look into it in detail, though I used to trouble you more. And I used to ask you all those things, but that is my basically learning approach.
Yes,
that is my learning approach. And at times it is a caution too, because I have been learning and I have been reading widely for various industries in all the sectors, whether it is infrastructure, automobile and all those things. And perfectly, I'll say that Wealth Redefine has now come up as a brand, because I have been recommending various people over here that it is really redefined, because what Wealth Redefine is doing and what it has done to me, it's not a book or it's not a study which is there, it's a practical life. I am the practical example for that, that today I am fully comfortable for everything, whatever I need, whatever I do foreign travel, I do go to my daughter, who she is in England. Fortunately, she is also your client, and she has been guided by me in last 15 years. So she is much better than me also,
yes,
because I can vouch for that. And I'll advise everybody to have patience. My mantra is always have patience and select right kind of support.
Thank you for this journey. What you have told. So thank you for your all timely advice and everything. We will continue to serve you, and we will continue to approach you, and you can always approach us whenever you require anything. Thank you all viewers for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can send it to us through our link, which is available in this video at the end of the video. If you like the video, you can share it, you can like it and subscribe the channel. We'll keep on coming with this kind of new experiences. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And I think we'll keep on dialoguing on this thing, and I'll wish all the investors to come forward and do this practically. If they want to see the real example, I'm always available.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.